Hello, welcome to the Breathe Life Daily podcast where we share insights on mental wellness. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Akile Olaide and I'm a psychologist specializing in clinical psychology. For today's episode, I will be discussing on the topic which is centered around feelings and emotion. We'll be exploring its impact in our lives and how their effects can be managed to ensure a healthy mental wellness. Statistics shows that humans start experiencing emotions even before their birth, and they start having feelings once they can interpret their emotions and interactions. Every individual experiences several emotions and feelings on a daily basis, and they play a fundamental role in how we experience the world by influencing our decision, our perception, and our interactions with the world. Feelings and emotions are like a double-edged sword. When managed well, they can enhance one's life, but when misused or uncontrolled, they can cause harm to ourselves and to others. Feelings and emotions are an integral part of one's life because we experience them on a daily basis, and they take a great toll on us when not managed effectively. So what then are emotions? Emotions are automatic internal responses triggered by a stimuli. For example, an exam could be a stimuli, and when an individual packs their exam to their expectation, this could stimulate an emotion of joy. Or when they fail their exams or do not do up to their expectation, it could initiate an emotion of sorrow. Or rather, let me say, when you are given a gift, it could initiate an emotion of surprise. So emotions are triggered by external stimuli, and it's a unconscious response. Our emotions work like a quick prompt for us to act upon. There are 8 primary emotions, which are the anger, sorrow, joy, fear, disgust, grief or shame, interest, and surprise. We also have secondary emotions, which are combinations of the primary emotions. What then are feelings? Feelings are subjective interpretations of our emotions, and they are shaped by our experiences, thoughts, and personal beliefs. Feelings are subjective because it is based on individual interpretations of whatever emotions they are having. For example, let me create a scenario of 2 individuals. One encountered a dog in a lonely street, and what comes to your mind, what comes to your mind influences how you feel. If you think about, this dog can be dangerous, then you can start having the emotions, the feelings of being fearful. So on the other end, if you are somebody that have a good experience with dog, instead of you being afraid when you sighted the dog, you rather feel pity for the dog, that poor dog, look at the dog walking alone in a lonely area, and looking at situations around what could have caused the small dog to be walking alone. Emotions and feelings can be expressed through various ways. We have the verbal, we have the non-verbal, and we have the behavioral cues. Some of these expressions come through facial expressions, body language, words, tone of voice, or behaviors. As individuals, we all have strong, intense emotions. These emotions can either be positive or they can be negative. Examples of positive, intense emotions are love, passion, and excitement, while examples of negative emotions are rage, grief, and panic. Engaging in intense emotions can have both positive and negative effects on mental, physical, and social well-being, and the inability to manage our strong emotions can be quite dangerous. For example, the emotions of rage. We have seen situations whereby relationships have been destroyed because one of the partners could not manage their rage. And we have also seen situations where people don't manage their positive emotions well, like emotions like love. We have seen situations whereby a parent would not want to chastise their child because they feel they love their child, and we have seen such children become spoiled brats. And I've also seen somebody who tried to commit suicide because their lover left them and they couldn't do the emotions of sorrow, and therefore they try to commit suicide because of this. Intense emotions can also lead to physical symptoms such as increased heart rate, sweating or trembling. So, learning the skill of managing one's emotions and feelings is an essential skill for one to have as an individual. And irrespective of how you have managed your emotions and feelings in the past, it's never too late to learn the act of managing your emotion and feelings well. So, this brings us to discussing about how to manage one's emotions and feelings well. First, I'll be discussing about observing your emotions. As individuals, we experience several emotions on a daily basis, but we don't necessarily react to them. Observing your emotions means that you notice what you are feeling without immediately reacting to it. Our emotions are like waves in the ocean. They rise and peak and they fade away naturally. Forcing your way on the waves rather make it more harder, but while embracing it makes it easier to fade away. So also is how your emotion is. Whatever emotions you have to accept them, observe them, and let them pass away without suppressing them, because suppressing your emotions can cause stress, anxiety, or avoiding it can lead to emotional outburst or unresolved pain. Let me create an scenario when you have an emotional outburst. For example, you and a roommate share the same apartment together, and oftentimes you are the one that always clean up the place, and maybe one day after cleaning up, your roommate just decide to scatter the house again. And you then became angry. So instead of you saying, "Oh, I'm not angry," you first have to acknowledge your emotions. Yes, I'm angry. Acknowledge it that I'm angry. Then you allow it. It's okay to feel the emotions of anger. So allow it. So after allowing the emotions, you don't try to keep the emotions around, like you remembering past things that the person has done to you, or you also don't try to increase the emotion, rather just be plain, because your emotions is just like a wave, and when you feel it, you don't suppress it. They often go by itself. You can also express it by probably telling the person when you are more calmer, or you write it down, or you speak to a person. Just express the anger and let it go of your mind. Observing your emotions and not suppressing it, and taking positive actions about it, limits the stress that emotions will cause you. Another way to effectively manage strong intense emotion is to consider the outcome of engaging on the urge to act on negative emotions. First, you have to consider what are the pros and cons if I work on this emotion. What are the advantages and disadvantages if I take up these emotions? Is it something that is favorable to me or not? You have to weigh them. If the advantage outweighs the disadvantage, then you can follow the emotion. But if the disadvantage outweighs the advantage, it's something you have to drop. And what can help you do that is also if you take a pause before reacting. Before reacting to an intense emotion, take a pause and react to it. Take a pause before reacting to it, and by you taking a pause, you can look at what are the pros and cons of taking these actions. You can also look at what other emotions can I take instead of taking these actions. Act on these emotions. Then this moves us to expressing your emotions in a healthy way. You can express your emotions by speaking to a trusted person, by journaling, by exercise, or by meditating. So you rather, instead of engaging in negative emotions that you later have regret on, you can rather express them in a more healthy way. Another interesting factor to discuss about emotions is belief and myths about emotions. Emotions, as I discussed earlier, are internal response triggered by stimuli, and they are being expressed through our feelings. Feelings are interpretations of our emotions. and they are shaped by our experiences, thoughts, and beliefs. So when we have negative beliefs and myths about emotions, then we are not going to express the emotion well. Some of the myths people have about emotions which are wrong is one of it is that strong people don't show emotions. They believe that when you have an emotions, you have to suppress it, and in the real sense of it, suppressing your emotions without expressing it sometimes leads to stress. People also believe that emotions are uncontrollable. No, emotions can be controlled. We have a lot of emotions on a daily basis. It is the ones we decide to act upon. Emotions are controllable. The difference between having an emotion and acting on that emotion. Activities we also do can also help us improve our emotions and feelings. Examples of taking a good rest, sleeping well, eating healthy meals, and engaging in pleasant activities. They all help us manage our emotions and feelings. Managing one's emotions and feelings is an integral aspect of one's life, hence the reason why we need to effectively learn how to manage our emotions and our feelings. We have come to the end of this episode where I discussed about emotions and feelings. Do take our time to listen to the episode and try to inculcate this in your lifestyle. See you on our next episode. Please do take out time to press the like button, comment, and leave your review in the comment section. Please ensure that you breathe life daily. Thank you for listening.